Get this party started. Hello, hello. Welcome to day 3 of Rhythm Challenged to Rhythm Talent. Today, we are going to be getting into the best rhythm exercise. This is the exercise that I think absolutely everybody should be doing. Like, if you want to get better at rhythm, this is the exercise to do every single day. So before I get into it, I just want to give a quick recap of days 1 and 2 so we're all on the same page about where we're going. So in day 1, we got on the same page with counting and the fact that most of us were only taught how to count and how note values work. And that's why rhythm can be so frustrating. But I guarantee you don't need to be naturally talented. Everybody can build and develop rhythm skills. So that's what day 1 was all about. Day 2 was about that missing half that I think most of us weren't taught well enough, which is the steady beat. And we did some fun homework to find the steady beat in music. So I hope you guys, if you've been watching days 1 and 2, you're actually doing the homework. Again, this may seem like silly little simple exercises, but it's the fundamental things that are gonna make the difference. There's no advanced skills, only advanced situations that require strong fundamentals. I saw that quote on Facebook and I'm just gonna keep saying it because I love it so much. So that was days 1 and days 2. Day 3, we're starting to bring it together. We're putting together the steady beat and the actual counting and note values. Now, it may be tempting to think like, okay, so let's look at some music and start counting the rhythms in our music, but that might be a little too hard. Yes, we've all probably counted rhythms, but this idea of really locking together the steady beat and the note values and rhythms might be a little bit new, and we need an exercise to sort of bridge the gap. We can't just go straight to doing complicated rhythms in music. We need to develop that connection first, and that's what this exercise is about. And that's why I think this is the best exercise that everybody should be doing to improve their rhythm. So I first want to explain where I got this exercise because I think that sort of helps you to understand why it's such a good and such a valuable exercise. And when I was in high school, I'm primarily a clarinetist for anybody who doesn't know. Hopefully the channel name of Quick Start Clarinet gave that away. But in high school, I did also play percussion. I played mostly the mallet percussion instruments, so I did all of them from glockenspiel, xylophone, vibraphone, marimba, all of those things. And my high school was the state championship in the highest class in the state for pretty much every year that I was there. So we were a very top-notch group, and this exercise that I'm going to talk about today, the subdivision exercise, I actually first learned in my winter percussion stuff. So if there's anybody you can trust about rhythm, it's percussionists. So this is, I promise, a great exercise. And what it's about is connecting those things together. So what we're doing in this exercise is practicing different subdivisions in relationship and in connection to the steady beat. So we have our steady beat going. I like to kind of think of this as gears connecting together because, again, that's what we want. This whole week and my whole new rhythm course, True Rhythm Mastery, is all about bringing together the steady beat and the note values. Because like I said on day 1, we know note values and counting pretty well, but we need that context of the steady beat, and that's when we truly master rhythm. So what this is we have our steady beat. If we're thinking in 4/4, we can think of that as like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's sort of our gears going along steadily and predictably. Then we can have different relationships meeting that. So we can have a 1-to-1 relationship, which would be like quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could have a 2-to-1 relationship, which would be like eighth notes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. We could have 3-to-1, which would be like triplets, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, or 4, like 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's the different kinds of relationships we can have. There's a few other ones. You could do 5s or 6s or 7s. But any rhythm, any complicated rhythm we come across is going to be some correlation and connection or combination of pretty much these simple subdivisions. So if we can master these, then we'll be in good shape. So what the subdivision exercise is about getting really comfortable with those subdivisions, finding them leading forward to the beat and connecting and meeting with the beat so our gears are working together really happily with good flow and good connection. So what we're going to do is a measure of quarter notes, a measure of eighth notes, a measure of triplets, a measure of 16th notes, and then work our way backwards. Triplets, eighths, quarters. And since we got on the same page with counting with the rhythm tree on day one, you should know how to count this using the normal number system. But it doesn't matter what you say, actually. You could even just do la or da or whatever other counting system you use, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for triplets. Whatever you want to use, totally fine. It doesn't matter that much what you're actually saying. What matters is you're connecting it with the steady beat. And for the steady beat, we're going to be using the metronome to keep us really honest and really steady. But we're also going to move our bodies, just like we did in day 2, where we're moving to the beat, dancing to it. You can dance to it however you want. You can do the pseudo conducting. I'm actually going to do real conducting in 4/4, so just the briefest conducting tutorial. It's down, in, out, up, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're familiar with conducting, go for it. If conducting's totally new to you, just move along. That's all that matters. You could do some fun ones like the human metronome or some headbanging, whatever you want, whatever movement works for you, just as long as you're feeling that steady beat. And then we're going to count through. And again, I'm going to conduct and use the rhythm tree counting, but whatever syllables you want to do to keep track of 1-to-1 relationship, 2-to-1 relationship, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, so that you're getting those comfortable subdivisions going. So let's give it a try. I'm going to turn my metronome on to 60, and we'll try it a few times so that you can get comfortable, because again, this is like the most important exercise. Everybody should do this every day if you want to get better at rhythm. So there's the metronome. Let's start moving to it, feeling it. I'm going to get my conducting started. 1, 2. And then let's try counting. So again, it's a measure of quarter notes, a measure of eighth notes, a measure of triplets, a measure of 16ths, then a measure of triplets, eighths, and quarters. So we go faster with the subdivisions and then go back slower. So let's give that a try. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, done. So that's the exercise. That's what I want you all to be doing every day, all the time. I want to add a couple nuances to it. One, make sure that you're always leading to the beat. That's why I really like conducting, because when you're conducting, whether it's the real 4/4 or even like the sort of pseudo conducting in 1, totally fine, but you have that predictability of like 1 and 2, you're actually moving through space and getting to 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you have that sense of we're going in between beats here. We're subdividing. We have direction. We have momentum. We know where we're going. That's super important. That's like probably the biggest takeaway from this subdivision exercise, is that you're meeting the beat and then leading your subdivisions to the next beat and then leading your subdivisions to the next beat, and so on. No matter what the subdivision is, it's all about getting to the beat. 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2. Whatever the subdivision is, we have to find that next beat, because that's what's going to build in the connection, which is the whole point of everything we're doing here, is to connect the rhythms, the counting, the note values to that steady beat. So that's the first thing. I want to demonstrate the not conducting and counting. This is like the most advanced version of it. But again, you can say whatever you want to say for the note values. You can move however you want to keep track of the steady beat, just as long as you're internalizing the steady beat in your body and in your motion, and you're saying something that's showing the relationship to the beat. So what that might look like, we're still doing 4 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s, 4 3s, 4 2s, 4 1s, but we're moving differently and just saying whatever we want. So I'm moving to the steady beat, got that feeling good, then let's try it. Ready, go. Dum, 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 beam, bum, beam, bum, beam, bum, beam, dum, beam, beam, bum, beam, beam, bum, beam, beam, bum, beam, beam, dum, bum, 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 dee, dee, dum, beam, beam, bum, da, 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 deem, ba, deem, ba, deem, ba, deem, ba, dum, bum, bum, bum. So that's the simple version of it. I wasn't even consistent about what was coming out of my mouth for syllables and keeping track of the subdivisions, which again is fine because I was still keeping track of them evenly. Might have done one extra beat of triplets on the way back. I'm not even 100% sure, but again, that's totally fine. This is just about leading to the beat. Boom, boom, bum, beat, dee, dee, dum. So we're always meeting the metronome and locking in with that. If you have difficulty playing with the metronome, if you feel like, oh, I have fine rhythm, but once I turn on the metronome, I have a hard time keeping up with it. I'm just not coordinated enough to keep track of the metronome. This is the exercise you need to be doing, because I hate to say this and I hate to break it to you, but if you struggle to play with the metronome, you don't actually have good rhythm. Maybe you can count, maybe you can keep track of note values, but if it's not locking into the steady beat, it's not true rhythm. So that's the simplified version of the exercise. I want to add one more thing as just sort of a stepping stone so that you can really feel comfortable and confident with this. It's really important, like I said, to always be leading to the beat and moving forward. But sometimes it's hard to know like exactly what even is and exactly how it should be working. You might be doing your eighth notes and getting something like and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's just like not feeling super smooth and comfortable. What you can do with the metronome, most metronomes have this function where you can turn on subdivisions. So switch the subdivisions to eighth notes, for example. And then you have that little extra click showing right where it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again, I'm still moving my body, keeping track of those divisions, leading to the beat. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So there's that predictability to it. And probably eighth notes are pretty easy, but triplets might be hard. That's a common one where people will get like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, or something like that. So turn the metronome onto triplets. And again, if you don't know how the subdivision feature works on your metronome, just triple the tempo. So if we're going at 60, turn it up to 180, and that'll give you the same effect. But this is the triplets. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, bum, 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 bum. Just always feeling that nice, even subdivision and nicely moving to the beat. The last caveat that I have for this is you might be starting to think about how this might work in music, and that's great. But you need to be careful about the music, because the way the music looks is you might have something that seems different. Music can be deceiving. The way the visuals of the music look can make it seem like it fits differently than it does. Notice how when we've been talking about all of these subdivision things, it's been all about upbeats going to downbeats. 1 and 2, up, down, up, down. When I was talking about the gears, we're leading forward to the next beat. We're connecting to that next one. I didn't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stopped. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, because that's where we're going. But when we look at music, the way it's beamed really separates it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a bar line, and then 1. But if we settle into the visuals and we let the visuals fool us, then it's very easy to get uneven and do kind of what I just did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But then it's not actually even, and it's not the precise subdivision. and it's impossible for the listener to perceive the steady beat. And that's the most important thing, and why we want to connect the rhythm to the steady beat is so the listener can dance to it, they can perceive the steady beat. If you missed day 2, that's what we talked about a lot in day 2. So it's really important to not let the visuals of the beaming fool you, and to keep moving forward to the beat even when you're looking at it. And that's why I actually started with this, not talking about how the music looks, not talking about it in strict subdivisions. We're just getting the feeling of 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 triplet 2 triplet 3 triplet, or whatever the subdivision is. So that brings us to your action homework for today. I hope you've guessed it by now, but it's to do the subdivision exercise, do it with a metronome, move your body to the steady beat, keep track of those different subdivisions, and that's what I want you to be doing, like literally every day for the rest of your life. Run through the subdivision exercise at least once, and it'll make a difference. Even we have day 3, we have 3 more days of the challenge. If you do this every day for the next 3 days, you're going to notice a difference in your ability to predict the steady beat, line up with the metronome, and the confidence playing with the metronome, which is what I want for you. The last thing about this too for the homework is you don't have to do it at the same tempo every day. You don't have to do exactly one measure of each subdivision. If you're having trouble shifting between the subdivision, just spend a little time just doing one subdivision. Just do triplets, just do 16th notes. Whatever you need to do, feel free to adapt this, mix and match it. The sort of end goal, very advanced version of this is to do it at any tempo and really shift around. 1, 2, and 3 triplet, 4E and a 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4E and a 1. And you can really shift around, and you might notice when we start doing that, it's starting to sound like maybe an actual rhythm or actual music that we might encounter out there in the wild. So that's what this is all about, is being that stepping stone, being that bridge to connect together the rhythm, the note values, the counting, and the steady beat, so that you can have confidence doing that and giving a perceivable, predictable beat that you're always leading to when you're playing. So hopefully that makes sense for your homework. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. But that wraps up day 3 of Rhythm Challenged to Rhythm Talent. Again, this is the best exercise for improving, so I really hope you'll give this exercise a try, even if it sounds super silly and super simple. These are the things that are going to make the difference in your rhythm. And of course, last but not least, if you want to go full in-depth into the deep end of rhythm, then check out True Rhythm Mastery at quickstartclarinet.com/rhythm. Cool. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at real music. I'll actually be pulling up music examples and showing how the music that we read on the page for any piece is very closely related to this subdivision exercise that we're doing. So we'll be looking at actual music tomorrow and getting that figured out. So thanks so much for joining. Let's go ahead and sign off, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, for day 4 at noon Mountain Standard Time, going live. Thanks so much for being here today. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.